Sports with your host, Jay Pops. Guys, we're back. We're back, baby. We're getting closer and closer, okay, to the college football playoff game where Texas A&M will host the Miami Hurricanes, okay? Guys, look, it's been a darn good week for Texas A&M sports, right? So on last Sunday, if people out there didn't get a chance to watch it, or if you missed the news, stuff like that, Texas A&M went toe to toe with the Nebraska Cornhuskers, right? Volleyball, I'm speaking of, but they went toe to toe with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. That game was very good. They went all the way to 5 sets, and guess what? Texas A&M now moves along until the Final Four, in which has never been done before, by the way. So what does this mean? The opponent up ahead, right, which is at Kyle Field, which is the Miami Hurricanes, by the way. What are we looking for in this game, man? What is it going to come down to? Well, first and foremost, Kyle Field is going to be rocked. Okay, the game is at 11 a.m. A lot of people are, kind of disappointed with this game being at 11 a.m. I'm not totally upset about it. It kind of, it is what it is at this point. I would have wanted a better, time slot for it. But guess what, man? I already know what's up. You're pretty much going up against the NFL Saturday, and which is pretty much like NFL weekend as well. Okay. So, hey, it is what it is on this one. Guys, hold on just for a minute here. So retouch is on, light is on, and I wonder, give me 1 second here. I'm wondering if this stream potentially got messed up. No, it did not. Okay, so we should be good. Okay, I'm sorry about that. My apologies, but we should be good. We should be a-okay. Okay. But anywho, guys, so like I say, the Miami Hurricanes come down to Kyle Field. Miami has been down here, I think, 3 years ago, back in 2022, I believe. And that was a game where Mario Cristobal, he was the head coach, right? So this isn't Mario Cristobal first time coming here. I don't think there's anybody left on that team that came with him in that year. Then again, I could be totally wrong, okay? But this is a first-time playoff game for both of these programs, all right? This is a playoff game for the first time for both of these head coaches, okay? Mario Cristobal has more coaching experience, of course, duh. But, it is what it is at this point. It's all going to reside on, hey, man, who's the better coach, all right? Somebody commented and said basketball talk. No, I don't have none as of yet. I do know Buckyball has been balling. My wife, I, and my 2 sons, we sat up here and we watched a little bit of the basketball. I think on that Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, either Sunday or Monday, man, it was one of them. And we did see that Texas A&M can score some points. You hear me? They score a lot of points. I think that's going to be very good for this program going forward. And it just looks like we're in a different era. Now, we'll see, come SEC time and stuff like that. But no, it's no basketball talk as of right now. It's hold on. Football season is still going on. Volleyball, right? I feel like they should be talked about as much as football is being talked about because they're in the Final Four. You got to remember, after this Final Four, right, in which I didn't say this when the season started, but I said this a little bit up to that Texas game and a bit more after that Texas game. This team can make a national title run, okay? I'm going to say it once again. This volleyball team can make a national title run. I said that after they beat Texas. They just have to get over the humps already. They got over the hump. They went in Nebraska. Nebraska was 33-0. Guess what? Nebraska is 33-1 now because A&M beat them, okay? I feel like that may have been your national title game right there. Then again, we will see what Pittsburgh has up ahead because and then we'll have to play Pittsburgh. And shout out to Wisconsin, by the way, right? Wisconsin took down Texas in their own arena, okay, and which was a pretty hard matchup as well. So Wisconsin will play Kentucky. You could see Kentucky versus Texas A&M. If I'm totally being honest here, like I say, you still got Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is going to give you a game. This is their 5th straight Final Four, if I'm not mistaken. This is Texas A&M first Final Four. This isn't Jamie Morrison's first go around, but it's his first go around as a actual head coach. I think people forget that Jamie Morrison was actual an assistant coach over at Texas and other programs, but previously I think he had came from Texas, and A&M offered him his first ever head coaching opportunity, right? And he took it and he ran with it. This is his 3rd season. This is usually when you start to see a spark in either programs. If you're really trying to get somewhere, okay? So this is Jamie Morrison at the moment. And this is his first ever Final Four. And this is Texas A&M first ever Final Four. Damn, it feels good. It feels good to see this team get to higher heights. And they remind me so much of the baseball team. They remind me a lot of them. I mean, they remind me a lot of them, okay? Because I don't know if you guys remember or not. Then again, a lot of you guys out there do. But Texas A&M, right, baseball-wise, they got there in 2022. And they weren't able to get to the final thing, but they got to Omaha, right? And they just completely came from out of nowhere. That next following year kind of took a dip back. But the year after that, they came out with so much swag, nobody could doubt them from getting to Omaha. And that's where they made it. And they made it all the way to the championship game, okay? You're seeing that with Jamie Morrison's team right here. Right now, you're seeing that with Jamie Morrison's team, okay? The young lady, Ifina, I think that's how you pronounce the name, Ifina, and Logan Letnicki, and also Kendall Stowers, okay? Those 3 girls, they're beasts. Afeni, I don't think a lot of people realize that Afeni came from, Afeni played on the USA volleyball team, which was this year. I believe earlier this year, she played on the USA volleyball team. Guess who was the head coach? Jamie Morrison. That was a cheat code already. I don't think a lot of people understood that, but that was a cheat code already, okay? I have to really sit down and watch women's basketball. I haven't really just seen them yet, because it's just been so much going on where I haven't been able to watch everybody like how I really want to. And like I say, football season is so long now, so now we're in the playoff mode, right? Let me sit down and watch Joni Taylor's team, because I think Joni Taylor's team has something to prove this year as well. But they're a team also in where they have to get over the hump. It was Joni Taylor's 2nd season on last year, okay? All I'm going to say is keep on watching, because the squad that she has now, they're good. They're good. I'm not ready to call them elite, but they're good. And don't be surprised if they start to knock off some teams, like the South Carolinas, the Texases, the LSUs of the world, because that's the hump that they have to get over. I think Joni Taylor is going to do it this year. Now, don't get me wrong. I was the same guy that was saying Joni Taylor we probably needed to rethink this. But guess what? I'm coming back. I noticed that I said my words too quick, and now I'm here. Joni Taylor's squad and what she's been able to do. I guess I didn't look at everything big picture-wise, but she had a lot of injuries on that team. It is what it is. She has, I think, 2 players back. They're ready to get it. Watch and see what they do. That's not the last that you've seen from Joni Taylor right there, okay? So all I'm saying is just watch. Like I said, I hadn't really got a chance to watch buckyball, so I'm still kind of, just grasping on to that, and stuff like that. And, also, man, just like everybody else, guys, we're normal, we're human, right? We got to deal with our families, stuff like that. So I'm watching, I'm paying attention, but I haven't really been able to just get into it like that. The volleyball team, though, right? I want to talk a little bit more about them. The volleyball team. Those group of young ladies, right? Those are real winners. And they want to get that championship. What Jamie Morrison said, right? And I heard him on TexAgs today. What Jamie Morrison said, he said after he's made the comment that he wasn't scared of Nebraska, right? And pretty much, his team wasn't scared of Nebraska. He said, man, he caught a lot of flack, from the Nebraska media about that. And which is kind of, like rightfully so. He caught a lot of flack about that. But guess what? He meant what he said. He wasn't scared. He also said, in which, I quote, he will bring a national championship back home to College Station. He said that. He said he's going to go and win a national title. He meant what he said. I strongly believe in that. If they don't win it, they're going to play for one. I highly think that the national title game was just what you seen between them and Nebraska. That was your national title game right there. It's no disrespect to any of these other teams that's left, right? Which is Pittsburgh and Kentucky and Wisconsin. But Nebraska was 33-0. They went into their house and beat them. That was your national title game. Mark my words on that. Okay? Mark my words on that. Those girls have been battle tested all throughout their conference and just got battle tested in Lincoln, Nebraska. That ain't easy. That ain't easy at all. A lot of coaches were trying to crack that code for over 1,000-some days. They hadn't lost a game there in 3 years. I'm going to say it again. They hadn't lost a game in Nebraska in 3 years. Jamie Morrison, step up. He's the coach that finally broke the code. Reason being was because he wasn't scared. Reason being also, he was already battle tested, man. He was already battle tested. He had been hit upside the head by Kentucky. He got hit upside the head by Texas in the SEC tournament game. He had been hit upside the head by SMU, TCU. All of these teams caught him early in the season. Nebraska just hadn't got caught yet. They also hadn't seen a level of competition like A&M brought to them. I will honestly say that. It's a lot of Nebraska fans that said that after that game. They said, man, we have to start scheduling better. We got to schedule non-conference opponents way better than what we schedule at. It is what it is. Go talk to Nebraska about that. I promise you they said just what I said right there. Okay? So, guys, we move along. A&M in Miami. I'm seeing a lot of people go both ways. Then again, I'm seeing a lot of people lean Miami, right? I'm seeing a lot of people lean A&M. I see more and more of Miami leaning in, okay? I'm here to say this. What's making a lot of people lean towards Miami? Number one is Carson Beck in his playoff experience, in which he has some, but he really doesn't have none. He played in a game in the playoffs, right? But then again, I don't remember Carson Beck playing in any playoff game. I remember Carson Beck being on the sideline, right? Because he had got hurt in that SEC championship game. But I don't remember Carson Beck playing in no playoff game. However, Carson Beck has played in the SEC venue. A lot of those guys over there, they ain't played in no SEC venue. But they're here. So a lot of people leaning on Carson Beck, okay? A lot of people leaning on this Miami defense as well, in which is top 10 in the country, in which is rightfully so. Miami has the number 7 rush defense. To backdoor that, Miami has the number, I think, 13 pass defense. That's a good defense. That's a good defense to say the least, okay? I'm not going to say that they haven't played a bunch of Marcel Reeves, because I'll be lying to you. SMU gave them a pretty good example of how good Marcel Reed will be when they come to Kyle Field. The crazy thing is that they also traveled on the road and went to Texas for that game. They went to Dallas, Texas, by the way. Okay? Is Marcel Reed Better than the young man at SMU? Yeah, I think so. I really do. So we're gonna see, what's all what, right? And like I say, I think a lot of people just leaning on that Miami defense, but a lot of people leaning on Carson Beck's experience as well. Okay, so with Miami, right? What are we going up against? Where do we see the X's and O's, but also where do we see A&M maybe taking over and pretty much having a legit advantage? Wide receivers with an S is what I'm going to get at with Texas A&M. Well, Marcel Reed is throwing the football. A lot of people still believe that Marcel Reed can't throw for whatever reason. I'm here to say that Marcel Reed can throw the football. And Marcel Reed has some playmakers. KC Concepcion is one. Okay? Number 2 is Mario Craven. I think the guy that's going to go off, in which I think Miami will have some people that can defend him, but I don't think they're going to defend him to a certain extent of where he can't catch the damn football. All right? I think Mario Craven is going to go off in this game. I think KC Concepcion is going to go off in this game. The face that they should be familiar with is KC Concepcion. I think they already know what he brings to the table because he came from North Carolina State. So I know they know what he brings to the table. I think KC Concepcion already know what those guys bring to the table as well. All right? I think the play calling and route running in this game is going to be very crucial. I think Marcel Reed timing is going to be very crucial in this game. The vantage point for A&M, like I say, is already wide receivers, but I think another vantage point is Texas A&M running backs. I think all of them are going to be healthy, and I think all of them are going to be back. Okay? I think Amari Daniels carries the load in this game. Not Ruben, not Le'Veon, although I think Le'Veon Moss will be back, right? I just said all of them be healthy. But I do think Amari Daniels will be a force to be reckoned with in this game. Well, why are you saying that, Jay? I say that because Amari Daniels was the guy that was on this team when they lost that football game all the way over in Miami. Guys, we ain't forgot. They lost in Coral Gable. We ain't forgot that. Well, not in Coral Gable, but they lost in Miami. We didn't forget that. Mario Cristobal was the coach when they blew us out in Miami. I ain't forgot that. Nobody on this team that was previously here during that time has forgot. Le'Veon Moss, he was on the team. He ain't forgot. Marcel Reed, he hadn't forgotten either. He was only a freshman. He wasn't starting. But he remembered that blowout loss. I remember that like yesterday, man. Why? Because it was my wife's birthday weekend. And I was watching that game, and I was like, man, we are getting obliterated, right? And it was by a wide receiver, which by the name of Braxton Barrios, that just absolutely shredded us in that game. I'm going to say it again. His name was Braxton Barrios. He shredded us in that game. Or if I'm not mistaken, his name was Braxton Barrios. If it was somebody else, then you guys come and let me know. But he absolutely tore us apart. That guy had over like 200 receiving yards in that game. I ain't forgot about that, man. I have not forgot. Okay? So guess what? It is payback coming for that game. Mike Elko wasn't here. That was the year after. That was the year after he had left and went to go and be Duke's head coach. But we lost that game, man. We lost that game blowout fashion. It's a lot of us A&M fans, a lot of A&M alumni. We ain't forgot about that game. No, man, we owe y'all one. We do. We really do. We owe y'all one. Mario Cristobal, we owe you. Yeah, we owe you. And, I will say this, right? Like I say, the running backs will be a force to be reckoned with. I believe Amari will be a force to be reckoned with. The offensive line, I believe the better offensive line lies with Texas A&M. That's a huge advantage. That defensive line for Miami, though, they're good. They're real good. I'm not going to sit up here and I'm not going to down talk them, nor am I going to downplay them. They are real good. Okay? However, I believe that offensive line, they can hold up. All right? That defensive line for Miami, right? They're 10th in sacks. I think they're top 5 in yards for loss. tackles for loss on defense. They're top 5. Okay? A&M, tackles for loss. They are ranked number, I think, 2. Either number 2 or 3 when it comes to tackles for loss. Sacks allowed, A&M is like 11th, tied for 11th. Miami is, I believe, number 6 national. Okay? What I will say is this here. That defensive line against this offensive line is going to feed families. But I believe A&M has the better push up front. I believe A&M will get there. Okay? I also believe A&M has been battle tested up front already. Okay? They did go up against Texas defensive line, which is not a very bad unit. I will say. They aren't bad at all. All right? And they were able to get to Marcel Reed just one time. One time. This is what I will say. If that offensive line for Texas A&M gives Marcel Reed a clean pocket and his receivers are really actually able to get open, in which we've seen all season, I'm not going to say he's going to have a field day, but he'll be able to complete some passes, man. And it'll be some short intermediate throws in which he's been phenomenal with. I know those 2 interceptions hurt him in that Texas game, but that's behind. Other than that, he's been phenomenal with short to intermediate passing. And this is where Marcel Reed could really hurt you, because the time of possession, them in Miami is tricky because both of those guys are very good at time of possession. Okay, they slowly maul you to death. They run a fast offense, but it feels slow at times because they'll just maul you. Okay, but I like Marcel Reed, and I like Marcel Reed at home. Okay, I really do. I believe Carson Beck is going to give us a game, and I don't expect a blowout in this game at all. But I expect a very close ball game. Okay, my score prediction for this game. I believe A&M wins this game by at least 4 points, and I believe they cover. Okay, I believe A&M wins the ball game 30-26. I believe A&M gets to 30 quicker than anything, but I believe Miami starts to kind of come back just a little bit. All right. Somebody at the bottom saying, hey, shout me out. Shout out to Halliburton. Shout out to Halliburton 0. I think that's what it says. Halliburton 0. Shout out to Halliburton 0. Thank you for tuning in too, by the way. Okay. But the reason why I say this ball game is going to be very close is because that Miami defense is good. And if anybody thinks we're going to walk on this field and blow out Miami, then you're crazy. But then again, I've seen stranger things. I have. This is what's going to dictate a blowout for it being against Miami, in which if A&M was to blow Miami out. One, that means you got inside of Carson Beck's head, and you've just been obliviating his offensive line. If Carson Beck starts to feel pressure and he starts to feel too much pressure, he's going to turn the ball over. Okay, that's ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I know that. Carson Beck know that. People in Miami know that. If Carson Beck throws 2 turnovers in this game early, in the first quarter, or in the first half, you could potentially see a 21-0 ball game in the first half from Texas A&M. I don't know why, but a lot of people are still kind of downplaying A&M's defense. I did some research and I just checked the stats. A&M defense is ranked number 19 nationally. So I don't understand why people keep on doubting them like that. Okay? That's a darn good defense. Okay, they're 38 in the run. Okay, that's fine. They gave up some yards to Texas. Okay, that's fine. That was a rivalry game. I get it. Do I expect for them to give up that many yards in this game? No. Not at all. Okay? And this is how you shut down Miami. You shut down the running game. I'm going to say it again. You shut down Miami by shutting down the running game. You do what everybody else has been doing to them all season, and that's stopping the run. That leads into you shutting down the passing game because now you really kind of know what they want to do. Okay? So this is how you slow them down and all the way down. That defense, Cassius Howard. If Cassius Howard is able to get back there at least 3 times in the first half, I think that's going to open up the ball game for others to start getting in that backfield as well, like DJ Hicks, Albert Regis. What's my other guy? The freshman that's been coming in. But the linebackers as well, right? I believe Scooby should be good for this game. Scooby Williams. And also Terrion York. If Terrion York is able to make some good tackles in the backfield, that's going to really open up some damage. If Dalton Brooks gets back there, then it's going to go crazy. It's going to go very crazy. Okay? It's going to go very, very crazy. But, guys, I say it like this as well. Okay? If A&M is up 7-0 in the first quarter, then this game is going to either be a close game or it could lead into, you know, maybe on the verge of a, hey, you know, they won by like 10 or something. But if it's 7-0 and it stays like that, Texas A&M right after the first quarter, I think it's going to be close. If this game is 3-0, this game is going to be very tight. If this game is 10-0 first quarter, I'm telling you right now, Marcel Reed's on fire. And this game could probably be leading into a blowout. If it's 14-0 first quarter, Texas A&M, this game is going to be a complete blowout. I'm not lying to you about that. Hey, it's the playoffs. I know that. We're playing Miami. Their defense is very good, but I'm telling you now, it's going to be a blowout, Texas A&M. If A&M is up 14-0, now swing that. If it's 14-0 Miami, A&M can come back because we've seen it already. However, Miami ain't South Carolina. We know this. But A&M can come back and absolutely win this ball game. If it's 10-0, A&M can definitely come back and win this ball game. If it's 7-0 first quarter, this game is going to be tight, and A&M has to, you know, this game is probably going to be won by a field goal. You know, and they got to just continuously keep on going. If it's 3-0, I expect A&M to go ahead and win this ball game if it's 3-0 first quarter. If Marcel Reed plays like Marcel Reed, it's not, I still don't think it's going to be a blowout game. I just think you see Marcel Reed win a football game. If it comes down to kicking, our weak spot is not only making field goals, but our weak spot is giving up blocked field goals. It's a lot of people that has come back there that has blocked in them field goals. We have at least, we've given up at least 3 blocked field goals this season, in which baffles me. But if you ever want to look anywhere for special teams wise, you look at field goals being made and you look at A&M having to block field goals. Also, our weakness on defense, right? Yeah, a lot of people say the running game. I'm going to turn the corner and say it's not the running game. Turnovers. We have to get turnovers already. We got to get turnovers. We haven't had turnovers like that this season. Start getting those. It's time, man. It's playoff football. They got to turn into another mode. You got to cut it on. And if I'm not mistaken, Kyle Field is going to be rocking in all black. Apparently, that's what they've changed everything to so far as social media is concerned. If they're doing that, that further lets us know where they're trying to go. It's going to be all blackout. Okay? It is going to be a blackout. And which is fine, and which is good too. Right? Because somebody's going to a funeral. Okay? Miami is walking into their own funeral, and we're trying to put them to rest. Okay? So, guys, that's all I have for you on today. Okay? I probably won't be on here to either Thursday or after the game on Saturday morning, okay? But other than that, I love all of you and thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, if you don't mind, subscribe to the show. And once again, hashtag Gig'em Aggies. Woo!